Welcome to Sound and Fury. I'm Eric Wilfred Watson.
I'm Hugh Frank, and somebody warned me that there was going to be an owl.
Who? Today we're going to talk about one of the greatest literary achievements of the 20th century. And of course, I'm referring to none other than Tekwar by William Shatner. I actually almost put this as our guilty pleasures, but I knew we were sticking to movies, but if we were bringing in other properties besides movies, I totally would have mentioned this book.
Wasn't there a mini-series or a mini-movie or something that
Both.
was Tekwar? Oh, goodness. Oh, do tell.
Well, they made actually, I think, 4 movies, made for TV movies.
Wow.
3 of them, I think, are based on William Shatner novels. I think one wasn't, but William Shatner's in them, of course. It's difficult to determine whether he's a better actor or a better writer. I mean, when you think of William Shatner, I mean, it's right up there with William Shakespeare. The other great William S's out there.
Our brief candle life is but a walking shadow upon a player that struts and frets his hour upon the stage.
Acting!
Sorry, I was reading the pauses. I genuinely love this book, even though it's a pile of shit.
Me too, actually.
I'm
I
pretty
read it
sure.
back in the 90s. And
You did a book report on
I
it
did
in high
a book
school.
report on it in high school,
What did
yeah.
your book report say?
Well, I had to stand up in front
You're
of the class.
eating and YouTubing at the same time.
I am. Enjoy a gummy worm. I had to stand up in front of my class and give a report about Tekwar, and of course, everybody just looked at me in blank silence.
Kind of like you are right now.
Kind of like, yeah.
If you made it this far.
Yeah. And as you know, and my punchline is they were looking for a girl named, what was her name, Laura
Beth
Kittredge.
Kittredge.
Beth Kittredge, yeah. Looking for her all over the world, but she ended up being on the moon, and that kind of got everybody going. But yeah, that's basically, it's a love story about people who love tech.
And they have a war about it.
And they have a war about it.
Yeah.
It's actually, it's kind of a VR thing, right?
The most powerful drug known to man is called tech. An electronic mind stimulant so powerful that fantasy and reality seem one and the same. And if you deal in tech, you'd better be able to pay the price.
So it's not too far from video game addiction and some kind of real world stuff that has come later. I mean, I guess officially video game addiction is considered a mental health disorder now. And
Tech,
so, yeah.
In the book, tech is sort of a contraption you wear in your head. And you can play back recorded memories, you can live alternate realities, you can experience life. And it's really appealing to people that have lost loved ones or are bored with their real lives. But the problem is it can cause brain damage and it's addicting. It's basically a drug. Tech wars like, drug wars. Main character, Jake Cardigan, gets falsely accused of murder, gets sent to prison, wakes up from his frozen prison cell.
The court finds you guilty and sentences you to 15 years in cryogenic incarceration.
Now, sentenced to a state of frozen suspension, ex-cop Jake Cardigan, wrongly convicted of dealing tech and the death of his partners, is about to return to the living.
Which, by the way, cryogenic prisons is the stupidest science fiction concept of all time.
While 0 seconds went by in your life, did you have time to rehabilitate yourself?
Exactly. I mean, what's the point? It's no time passes for you. You don't actually experience incarceration. You're just frozen. They do that in Demolition Man.
Criminals will be frozen and reprogrammed in cryogenic prisons.
The prisoners are ice cubes.
Little to a lesser extent, they do that in Minority Report.
Look at them. Look at how peaceful they all seem. But on the inside, busy, busy, busy. Okey pokey. Now that is one bad man.
science fiction
Yeah,
trope.
aren't they supposed to be like reprogramming you though while you're in there?
Maybe,
Something
but it
like
makes
that.
no sense. How do you reprogram an ice cube?
You'd have to ask Ice Cube.
I'm going to change myself into an ice cube.
But anyway, he's released from prison, and he was a cop. Now he can't be a cop anymore because he's a felon, so naturally he becomes a private investigator.
Well, you can't be a cop with the name Cardigan and you're telling people to pull over. It's the wrong kind of sweater.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Or to check in people's IDs, he'd be carding them again.
Oh, yeah. Then again.
But he becomes a private investigator, and it's set like in the early 22nd century. I think William Shatner was probably trying to combine, I don't know this to be true, but I'm guessing. He's known for Star Trek, and he's known for T.J. Hooker. So he's probably trying to make Space Cop.
Star Hooker?
Yeah, Star Hooker. T.J. Trek.
TJ Trek.
No,
Star Hooker
Tekwar.
sounds better. Yeah. All right.
But it's campy, it's stupid, it has no redeeming value whatsoever, but damn it, it's fun to read. If you zip through the book in a couple days, it's a quick read. And it's really dumb. But damn it, it's fun. It has sex robots.
It does.
It has kamikaze robots where a loved one appears to you as a robot, but they're actually basically a bomb, and they kill you that way.
Someone set up us the bomb. Mm-hmm. Mean screen turn on.
Yeah, it's a corny, futuristic noir.
It's the first story that I came across in science fiction where lasers worked more like real lasers, though. Mm-hmm. Instead of the blaster bolt causes something to explode for reasons that physics don't really match. It burns a hole in something, and if you swipe across somebody's head with a really powerful laser, it lops off the top of their head, and that's why some of the people died in there. So I don't know, it's kind of neat. It had semi-realistic descriptions of the way people would get hit with lasers. But then at one point, a vehicle starts falling out of the sky, and they replace the engine in mid-fall.
Hey, it could happen.
It could happen, yeah, sure, why not?
It's hilariously out of date at times. They go into vid phone alcoves, and they have they call them laser guns.
Laser guns.
Apparently, one syllable laser is just too much.
Yeah. Well, the got zapped off.
Zer. They have a newspaper called the LA Fax Times. The newspaper sent you via fax.
Just the facts, man.
Yeah. Anyway, if you haven't read it, don't. If you have read it, I'm sorry. If you read it because of this video, I'm sorry also. The sequels aren't really so great. It's basically...
So you just described this as a horrible thing, don't read it, and the sequels also aren't that great.
I think there's 9 of them, if I'm not mistaken. I've read all but the last 2. Each one is progressively a little bit worse than the one before.
Tech Lords and Tech Lab and Tech Notronic.
Yeah. Tech Lab, Tech Lord, Tech Kill, Tech Money, Tech Vengeance. I don't remember what order those go in. I'm missing some, but all I know is I've read all of them except the most recent 2.
Okay.
I read them pretty much in a row because, like I said, they're quick reads. Then when I got to the last 2, I'm like, my brain.
Okay. I have to say the third one, though, is so much better than Doors of Stone because it exists.
That is also true.
Anyway, yeah. Little inside joke. For those of you that aren't familiar with Name of the Wind and...
they're the best 2 books of a trilogy where the third book will never get written.
Yeah, the third book is the best unwritten book ever.
Most anticipated. If you ever write... You could release anything and it would...
I think our next video should be a book review about Doors of Stone. I especially like the part where Snape killed Dumbledore.
I especially like the part where it existed and I read
it. Exactly. I mean, it's only been 13 years. I mean, why is he in a rush?
I'm wondering how much writing William Shatner actually did. I strongly suspect that there's a ghostwriter. He mentions a guy in the thank yous of his later books about somebody he works with. I'm guessing that somebody actually probably did most of the writing, but I can't imagine that writer came up with all this by himself. So what I'm guessing is William Shatner gave a real writer a concept and said go with it.
Right.
Because William Shatner also wrote a lot of Star Trek novels, which makes sense. He's famous for Star Trek. But if you think about it, William Shatner's never watched an episode of Star Trek. He said this publicly. He can't watch himself. So
didn't he direct Star Trek V?
That's the only Star Trek movie he watched, and he had to because he directed it. And it's probably the worst one.
What do you mean, probably?
Okay, it's the worst one. I like it, though. There's good parts. The camping sequence is great, but...
It's very campy.
Yes, it is campy.
I always knew I was going to die alone, except when I died with Picard.
Bridge on the Captain.
Yeah, that's true.
But no, he wrote Star Trek books that I'm guessing had zero things to do with it other than collecting the royalties.
Yeah,
But
I would love to write a book where I have zero things to do with it except collect royalties.
James Patterson. So, thanks for watching, and please subscribe.
Ja.
We protect them. We send the whole stinking load of tech lords into the freezer.
Acting!
We'd go along with Bennett's plan. Catch the tech lords in the act of receiving stolen government property. It would be the biggest crime bust in years.
Acting!